It's Victoria Lorient Fabish on Courageous Conversations, and welcome, Liz Scott.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I know it was a struggle to get here, because of the traffic.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Back to school traffic is a little overwhelming coming from Markham, but that's okay.
That's okay. You made it.
I did.
You kind of went a circuitous route via GPS, but
did.
it's very good that you're here and you got good information to share. And I think for me, as I think about you and what you've been through recently, you've been through sort of a big family, we call it crisis. Hi, Andrew, nice to see you. If you're watching, I'd love you to share our courageous conversation around the world. So the more you share it, the better it will be. And I'm going to put it on Courageous Conversations right now because
Excellent.
I think that, we need to have our gang of Courageous Conversations here with us.
Yes, we do.
And maybe I'll put it on Positive People Army as well.
Oh, good. Put it on Positive People.
The whole gang will want to watch us as well.
The whole gang will want to watch us, yes.
Exactly. And so, firstly, give us a little bit of a synopsis of what has happened.
Yes.
And how you've applied your own sort of, let's say, recipe of getting through a family crisis. And you've had quite a bit of a family crisis. And you've had to really, you've had to really stand up and do for the family.
Yeah.
Be the matriarch.
Yes. So my daughter, who is 28 and has two small children, so 2 and 5.
Oh my.
Slipped and fell at the beginning of the summer on her hardwood stairs and fractured her spine in 3 places.
Can she walk?
She can walk, but it was very
Thank
close.
Goodness.
Very, very close. So she was rushed to the hospital and then taken down to St. Mike's, and she had to have emergency surgery. So she had 2 long steel rods and a bunch of screws and bolts and things like that.
Inside or on the outside?
Inside.
Oh,
inside.
Wow.
So it was quite
Stabilize
major
it all. Yeah.
surgery, and she was actually in the hospital for about 4 days. But then was where the journey sort of continued because...
Yeah, so that's the crisis. But now, what do we do with the kids and life and everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
So...
that's big.
Because her boyfriend works shift work, it's inconsistent shift work.
Right.
So 1 week he might work midnight till 7 and the next 7 till 3. So that he was not able to really help. So she could not lift anything over 5 pounds.
Wow.
Plus she was...
no kid lifting.
And she had a lot of pain. So she was in bed for a couple of weeks recovering. So her and her 2 children moved in with my husband and I.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And lived with us for 2.5 months.
Wow.
So it was about being the caregiver to my daughter, who was recovering, but also managing the energy and physical well-being of a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old who were quite worried about their mom.
Of course. That makes sense. So you're dealing with emotional health, you're dealing with physical health, you're dealing with family dynamics, I'm imagining.
Yeah,
like that family dynamic.
A lot of energy in the house that my husband and I were not used to managing.
For sure. Yeah. Let me just, I'm going to clean sorry guys, I'm going to clean the lovely lens here because of course I'm seeing us being a little bit foggy. So I want to make sure that we're a little less foggy. Thank you. Little better. It might be just the covering of the, but you guys, husband and wife, mom and dad, dealing with suddenly a house that's full and when crisis hits. So tell us how you managed that because I'm imagining it was really tough.
It was very
and were there
hard.
some other stuff going on as well around the time?
Well, I mean, I run my own business.
Right, I was going to say you
so I wasn't really.
Yeah.
I was looking after my existing clients, but they knew and were very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
But
you
not
have to be like mom.
Oh yeah, mom and grandma full time.
Wow.
Because of course the kids were not, the older one was not in school. So I basically had to put any business development for my business on hold, which, as you know, running your own business is a bit scary when, you're looking...
This is your bread and butter.
Yeah, and so you're looking at your pipeline going, okay, this is not good. but there's nothing you can do about
nothing
it
you can do.
because you have to manage.
And okay, so what's the first thing as a person managing crisis? You're a coach, and so just many people out there, I'm sure, are going through their own crises. I mean, everyone has all kinds of challenges and life surprises. What's the first thing as a coach you would advise a person who's going through that? And what did you do yourself?
Yeah, so my suggestion is just get through the urgent stuff first, right? So the urgency for me was sitting waiting for the surgery to be complete, then the hospital stay, then sort of physically moving everyone into my home. Mm-hmm. So, whatever you need to do to get you through
the
that.
initial.
Yeah,
and then what? Initial. And then what happens? Because then, the crisis becomes a long-term situation. Then.
It does.
Wow.
And that's kind of where I think it starts to wear a lot of people down, because even though at some point there will be an end, it seems endless.
Interminable,
It seems absolutely endless. So one of the things that I started to do was to try to put things in perspective. I know we talk a lot about that in the PPA. And I started a gratitude journal to just talk about the experience, and the fact that I did run my own business gave me the wherewithal to look after everybody.
So just so you know, the PPA is the Positive People Army, which Liz is a member of, as am I. I'm one of the core founders, and Liz is also one of the leaders there. So you start, because you can't change life.
Right.
There's nothing you can do to change what's happening. There's nothing you can do to change what's happening. All you can do is change your own thinking and your own perspective.
Right.
And you decided that a gratitude journal was very helpful to you.
It was very helpful because, I think it's a good exercise to sort of put it down on paper so that you're thinking about it consciously, but then also to go back and say, wow, okay, because now it is over and they have moved back into their own house.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. And then the other thing was just, trying to look after yourself as well. So I was very fortunate. I had a lot of friends and family that gave me a lot of support because, of course, you need a lot of energy to look after a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
I can't even imagine. I honestly can't even imagine. That's just, I deal with one nephew or one niece at a time, and it's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So I think,
wow.
Yeah, you need to look after yourself.
And what about your mind state? So are you a panicker? Are you a type of person that panics, or what? I don't know you that well.
No,
so.
I'm not really a panicker. No.
Well, this is good. So you were able to maintain calm through it. Mm-hmm. I'm imagining. I know it's really important to maintain calm.
It is.
Yeah. Did you guys fight as a family?
We did.
Yeah.
We all fought, and I think that was part of what was interesting in terms of managing all of the different energies. It was very challenging because my daughter was in a lot of pain, so she was short-tempered, understandably. The children fought with each other, and I sort of, played the role of grandma, who was the good cop, but now I had to be the disciplinarian, so it was a very different role for me.
Did that impact the relationship with the kids?
God, I hope not. I think it probably did short term, but I mean, it was just, it was...
You're not grandma. You're
not grandma.
I'm now better
mommy.
Listen to her.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And was your husband in on the whole experience too? Did everyone get a job, or did you delegate, or how did that go for you?
He really did the best that he could. It's just, he also works from home sometimes. So
everyone's working from home.
So everybody's home and everybody's trying to do things, and there's little kids running around, and we all tried to support as much as we could. But just journaling and documenting the whole thing, not only the gratitude journal, but just trying, as I said, to put things in perspective that kind of this too shall pass, right?
Now, in your life personally and in your work as a coach, have you had crises other than this? Like, this is a big crisis, but have there been crises where you learned some of these tools that you're now applying? Or did you learn from this mainly?
this was a pretty big crisis for our family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've had other things in the past before I was running my own business that were related to my extended family, my brother.
Right.
But not necessarily happening directly to me or my kids. So
this was the first time you experienced such a big change to the family.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And tell everyone about a few of the tips that people can use. That you said journal, you said, take care of yourself. What else can people gather from your experience that you want to teach about navigating through when crisis hits?
Yeah, that mindset of this too shall pass, putting things in perspective. I did one day try to do yoga, so I had the kids on the yoga mats with me, which was complete chaos because then the dog jumped in because everybody's laying on the floor. It was actually kind of funny.
Oh,
but if you have the wherewithal to do some sort of physical exercise that de-stresses you, then I would highly recommend that too.
That's great.
And just focusing on things that, whether it's a crystal or a candle or, something that just makes you feel happy. So I love to garden. And I found that really therapeutic, was to just get my hands in and that was something that I could get my grandkids.
And what I tell clients a lot is the relinquishing of control, because we don't have control. When crisis hits, we have no control really. All we have is moment to moment emotional regulation.
Right.
Just emotionally regulating ourselves, just taking each moment, get out of the future and stay in the present moment, right here, right now, right here, right now. And crisis is, I find, obviously we all want to avoid crisis, but when it happens, there is so much learning that can happen on a moment-to-moment basis.
Yeah.
There's so much, and the truth is that we want to control. Yeah. We went away and we came back. We want to control everything, but we really don't have control. In fact, we have only control, and that's really hard, of our own thoughts, of our own feelings, of our own perspectives, of our own attitudes.
Right.
Isn't that the case?
It is, and I'm, anybody who knows me, I'm a bit of a control freak.
Okay.
So it was.
So how did that affect you, not having control?
Yeah, that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to
have a solution.
I wanted to have a solution because that's my sort of go-to is, okay, well, I can do things to fix things, but you can't fix your way out of something that just has to elapse in terms of time. So she couldn't lift physically more than 5 pounds. So there was nothing I could do to fix that. So that's hard in terms of that sort of moment to moment in terms of emotional control. Yeah. Very, very hard to do.
Did you get angry?
Of course. Yeah, I'm an Aries, right? Angry is my go-to, right? Anger and control is sort of the fire, right?
But it's good to know, right? It's good to know.
It's great self-awareness.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the. You're an Aries too.
I am an Aries.
Okay, so you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's important to really not allow the anger to be the only go-to emotion.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Because it's kind of useless sometimes. Oftentimes it's useless.
It is.
Sometimes it's great because it'll get you through a situation, but sometimes it burns bridges emotionally with people. Yeah. So that's important. And the other thing that I think you experienced must have been impatience as an Aries.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, come on, get going.
Yeah. And I think
how did you handle your impatience?
Just trying to take a step back and know that there was going to be an ending. So really just thinking, and I had a date, so I knew August 23rd was the date she went back to the surgeon to get the all clear. And she did get the all clear.
Okay, good.
So it was just, okay, there will be an end to this.
Imagine if there wasn't an end. This is your new normal.
Yeah, my husband and I talked about that, and that was part of going back to that gratitude journal of, wow, imagine people who, and in fact, this actually happened to my brother, whose son, my nephew, did have a situation where he became a paraplegic. So it did happen to my brother where that was his life, and so...
But he was a child.
He was 21.
Oh my, that poor kid.
So... we sort of I hate to keep using the word perspective, but because we had that experience with my brother, we kept saying, well, you know, look, it's nothing like that. I mean, it was, you know, we had an end date.
You had an end date.
Yeah.
And thank God for that.
Yeah.
Or thank goodness or the universe for that. And also, you know, when I think about your daughter having children, having like people that she's responsible for, it's such an incredible blow to their little family as well.
And I think that was really hard for her because...
And how did that marriage do, you know, through it all?
It was kind of rocky.
It's a rocky, courageous conversation.
It's a rocky, courageous conversation. Yeah. It was hard for the 2-year-old. She didn't understand why her mom couldn't pick her up, and it was hard for my daughter because she wanted to pick her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really hard for her because she wasn't the caregiver, and
that she normally is, probably.
That she normally is, and so I was, and so that was also a weird mother-daughter dynamic because I'm not sure she loved me having control over her children.
Oh my gosh, right.
And the way that I was handling things. So it was like, you know, Mom, back off, and that's, you know, that's sort of not the way that she does things.
So there's so many, in a crisis, there's so many dynamics that you're tending to. Right. In your case, there's your daughter in you, there's your husband in you, there's you and the children.
There's my husband and my daughter. There's my husband and the children.
Yes.
So yeah.
And then there's their dynamic, the couple dynamic.
Yep.
And how is the son-in-law with you and your husband?
Yeah, it was, and the fact that we're all under the same roof for a lot of the time was, it was interesting. It would, you know.
Well, interesting is such a coverall word. What was it really?
Well, sometimes it was super fun, but other times it was just a complete shit show, right?
Yeah.
Like, just the laundry alone. I'll just tell you, I'll share with you a little story. I had gotten my daughter in the shower chair and gotten her into the shower, and then of course I had to do the kids' baths, and they like to do them separately, so you know, I've got towels and
more towels,
and then the little one threw her towels from the shower into the tub and it soaked them. So they left. I got everybody dried, and you know, everybody sorted out in their pajamas, and then I threw the towels into my bathroom sink. But unbeknownst to me, I had hit the hot water tap. So then I went downstairs, and when I came up the stairs, my entire bathroom was flooded with boiling hot water.
Jesus, that was almost a metaphor of the whole situation.
It was. And so you know what?
Blocked, hot, boiling water.
I just burst into tears.
Yeah.
And had a huge meltdown.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I am done. Like, and then my little 5-year-old granddaughter, who's the sweetest, most empathetic, she's, it's okay, Mimi. Just take a big, deep breath.
Out of the mouth of babes.
I know. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I had meltdowns.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Lots
where
of meltdowns,
I just felt like, I can't do this. It's too hard.
Yeah.
It's exhausting physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I'll be honest, I felt like, you know what, universe? This is too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay if you're going to make me look after everybody, but don't have a flood of boiling hot water.
Right.
And it was just because of the whole dynamic of too many towels and the whole thing.
But you did it, and you're doing it. That's the thing, you know. When we think we can't handle more, guess what? We can. Because life will throw you more. And the truth of the matter is that when we're hit with a crisis, my sister-in-law broke both her ankles.
Oof.
in one foul swoop, in one fall.
Mm.
It was terrible for her. She was thankfully very well supported by her daughter, by a variety of services that we have in the city, and this, thank goodness for CCAC and all these. Did they come and help as well? Or did you guys need?
I didn't even
need that.
Think
yeah.
about that.
Yeah. There's various ways that the city can help. But my point is that, you know, so much can happen to your mind state if you stay open to whatever is going on. Stay open. Stay teachable. Stay teachable, because you know, keep looking at the situation as an opportunity for growth. And you're going to have your meltdowns, and you're going to have your fear moments, and you're going to be afraid, and it's going to be difficult. But you know what? you're going to get through it. The one thing I do know as a psychotherapist is that people get through their shit.
Yeah.
They do. We get through our shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit how we can find you and what it is you want to tell people about how to work with you.
Yeah, sure. So you can find me at lscott@affinitycoach.com. And I am...
Is that your website, affinitycoach.com?
Yeah.
So www.affinitycoach.com.
No, coach.com.
affinitycoach.com to find Liz Scott, who's a really great coach.
Mm-hmm.
And are you writing a book? Do you have a book? Or is this something is there a course coming up? Is there a thing coming up that we want to tell people about?
Just my regular,
coaching and one-on-one coaching with Liz Scott.
One-on-one coaching and consulting, and it's predominantly for business, but I'm open.
So you coach for business as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll probably do something with this experience. It's so new. I just haven't even really had time to.
They have to write about it
to figure out what that's going to look like. But certainly, I think it's interesting because. I was having a conversation with somebody and I said, I think I went through this experience so that I would be a better coach, so that I would be a more empathetic coach to understand that people have a lot of dynamics. And because I work with predominantly small business owners and entrepreneurs, your business is your life and your life is your business.
Sure,
you can't
it's all
separate
intertwined.
them. So it's all intertwined. So
helping people with perspective and helping people with the dynamics and helping people navigate through the communication. This is what you're really good at.
Yes.
Yeah. And you want to let people know about your Facebook. You have a Facebook page as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Which is called Affinity Coach?
It is.
It's called Affinity Coach.
Yeah.
So you can find Liz Scott in all these amazing ways, and make sure that you do tune in to Liz's page because she's got some really good insights, and I feel like you're just doing more and more and more, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's good.
Any last thoughts or last tips that you want to leave the people with before we sign off?
Just know that there's other people out there. I mean, I think we all need to be a bit more compassionate with people. You don't know what their backstory is or what they're going through. And I think as people, we need to just be a little more compassionate and say, you know what, everybody's got stuff going on in their life. So if somebody cuts you off or, whatever, just give them some compassion and let it go.
Yeah. Give them some compassion and let it go. These are good words.
Good.
I just want to say, everybody, continue to have courageous conversations with yourself and with another person or possibly with a group. Courageous conversations are so important. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and tune in tomorrow for another episode of Courageous Conversations. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm glad you're here.